And now for a really cute bear. I've got, this is a peach blush 5-inch round blown up to about 1.5 inches or so. I've got a white 5-inch round blown up to about 1 inch. Both of those are trimmed off very close to the knot. This is a scrap of a gray 260. I pulled the bubble on the end and then cut off for about 5 or so inches left of tail on it. You could use a scrap if you have one for that. I've got 2 peach blush 260s each with about 4 inches of tail left uninflated on the ends of them. And then I've got a caramel 360 with about 6 or 7 inches uninflated on the end of it. We're going to start with the 360. We're going to make, since we're making a bear, we're going to start with a bear head. So we're going to make about a 4-inch bubble, followed by a pinch twist. Then about a 4-finger bubble. Then about a 3-finger bubble, followed by a pinch twist again. And then one more 4-finger bubble to complete the head, and we're going to twist the bottoms of those together, tuck the nozzle through the secure in place, and there's our head. I'm going to make the body about a little wider than my hand, about 5 or so inches, followed by a small pinch twist at the other end. Then we're going to complete them with the bird body by coming up, twist it around the base of the head, come back down again, twist it into that pinch twist at the bottom. We're going to cut this excess off. Lock it in place like that. There's the beginning of our bear with his body and the beginning of his head. We're going to set that aside. Then we're going to take one of our peach blush 260s and then our gray. And what we're going to do is I'm going to come down a little less than the width of my hand, about 3 inches or so. And I'm going to tie the tail of the gray 260 to the nozzle end of the peach blush, leaving that hanging out. And I'm going to tuck that in with a deep tulip twist in a minute, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So tie that off, trim off the excess. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to make a tulip twist, pushing the knot in, and this tail is going to get pulled in with it, forming sort of a weird marriage twist thing. I'm not sure what you would call that. It's a tulip twist with an attachment. There we go. Now the first time your finger may not be long enough to see how it's kind of loose. You don't want it hanging out, so just push it a little deeper in. Grab it. Twist it securely like that. No, I didn't quite get it. I need to go a little deeper. See how the nose is kind of, you want that nose pulled up snug, so I'm going to push it a little further up in there. There we go. I want that snug against that. I don't want it flopping around. There we go. Now, I'm going to make a fold twist almost as long as that deep tulip there. This is going to be the beginning of his head. So we're going to set that down for a minute. Now we're going to take our peach blush 5-inch round. I'm going to divide that into 2 equal bubbles, give him some extra cheeks here. We're going to twist that out at the base there where those are all twisted together. And then I'm going to take the white 5-inch round and do the same thing with eyes. So divide that into 2 equal bubbles, and again just bring it into the middle of all of that. And bring those up to what is going to be the top. It'll all make sense in a minute. So we've got the fold twist. The big fold twist is his bottom jaw. This is his muzzle. The white is his eyes, and the peach blush is cheeks. Now I'm going to make a bubble about a little wider than my hand, and I'm going to twist that into the base of his head over here. Twist that around. I'm going to make his arms. Now this guy is going to be made so he can be holding something. So I'm going to make about, what is that, about a 6 or 7 inch bubble out on the end. I'm going to put 2 little pinch twists. I'm going to make another bubble the same length as the long one and come back in here. And then I'm going to run that down for his belly, and what's left, sticking out the back, will be his tail. Now, to finish his head, I'm going to take this long bubble here and push it back up into the opening in the middle of his head. And push it all the way back until that big cluster of everything with the nose and cheeks and eyes is pulled up flush against it. And then we're going to take and I'm going to pull his muzzle down a little bit into that fold twist to keep his nose from sticking up quite so badly. Turn him around so he's facing the right direction. Get that to not stick up quite so far. You can see his face beginning to take shape there. His nose still likes to stick up a little more. You'll have to kind of experiment with that a little bit. If you don't make this quite so tight, it won't pull up quite so far. Sometimes you can get it to pull down a little better. I'm trying to shape it so his nose isn't sticking quite. We don't want to stuck up there. There we go. It's not quite so bad there. Now we're going to take our remaining 260 and I'm going to make 2 large fold twists. And they're about 6 or 7 inches when folded. Just make sure they're even by doing this. Make 2 long bubbles. I'm going to take this excess, trim that off, and then just tie the 2 ends together. So I've got basically that. And then I'm going to just twist those together and attach those to the bottom. I make those a little bigger than I would normally. That way, that'll help this guy stand up. Because this guy can be like a little vase if you want him to. If you're not going to do the vase thing, you can make it like a little shorter. But see how he's got the little slightly longer tail and the big feet? That'll help him stand up so when he's holding stuff. And there's your little bear.